Assalamu alaikum, wonderful humans. Inshallah, you're well. Okay, so today is a nice one. Nice, sweet, and short, just how I like it. Today, we're going to talk about how our perceptions, our beliefs, our thoughts actually impact us at a physiological level. Not just how we feel, but our physiology. The thing is, when we often talk about these things, we often see it as like woo-woo, right? But that's not the case. So let's look at a couple of studies that I was looking into. The first study is the milkshake study. This had two groups of people, right? One group of people was told that they're going to consume a healthy milkshake, right? 140 calorie milkshake. The other group were told they're going to consume an indulgent milkshake. Indulgent and yummy and filling, right? Before they were given these milkshakes, their bloods were taken, so we have objective measurements here, not just how they feel, but actually what the body is doing. So they took bloods, they measured the hunger hormone. This is called ghrelin. In the people who were told they were going to have the indulgent milkshake, the ghrelin level shot up in anticipation of that milkshake. It's like, yeah, I'm going to have a delicious milkshake. It's almost like they got hungrier physically, right? The other group who are going to have a healthy 140 calorie milkshake, the ghrelin didn't really change much, right? And then they were given this milkshake. After they consumed it, bloods were taken again. The people who consumed the indulgent milkshake, the ghrelin dropped massively. Means, yes, I'm satisfied, I'm full now, I'm good. The people who consumed the healthy milkshake, the 140 calorie milkshake, it didn't really change much. It didn't drop massively. So it's almost like they physically still were hungry. Do you know what I mean? Here's the interesting thing. By the end of the study, they actually found out that the milkshakes that they had, right, was the exact same amount of calories, and this was 380 calories. There was no difference in the caloric intake, caloric value of the milkshake. So the changes that they saw in the bloods were purely down to what they believed they were consuming. How fascinating is that? So again, take this study and think about the food you're eating. If you're trying to be healthy, if you're trying to improve your nutrition, if you're going, you know what, I'm having this salad and chicken, is it going to fill me up? Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, if you have a negative perception about that, if it feels like diet of food, guess what? Chances are it's not going to fill you up physically even, no matter how many calories it is, because you have a certain perception about it, right? So again, this is just teaching us how we want to view food, not just in terms of taste and stuff like that, but also how we can actually change our physiology, how we can actually change how we feel hunger-wise and satiety-wise and all of these things. Another study that was really interesting is on eggs, right? Two groups of people. One was given 2 eggs, same amount of calories, like, you know, eggs for breakfast. The other group they're given eggs, 2 eggs as well, but it had I think they added a coloring to make it prettier, stuff like that. And for this one, there was subjective. This is what we asked, okay, after having this egg, how are you feeling? How's your satiety? Are you still full up and stuff like that? The people who had the eggs that looked prettier were actually more satisfied. They felt more, alhamdulillah, I ate, I feel good, I'm satisfied. The people who had the 2 eggs that looked a bit boring, not very pretty, they were still hungryish. They didn't feel satisfied, right? Again, this comes back to how our plates look. How can we make our plate look in a way that will satisfy us? Because if it looks nice, if it looks pretty, if it looks delicious, chances are I'm going to enjoy it. And satiety is more than calories. If anything that this study has shown us is, these two studies have shown us, is that satiety is more than just the calorie amounts of the food. It's our perceptions of it. It's what we believe it to be. It's our thoughts about, do I actually like how it looks? Does it look tasty to me? Right? Does it look enjoyable? Does it look indulgent? And all of these things. So do your best to make your food look nice and pretty so that it can actually impact your satiety, because it absolutely can, not just the psychological feelings of satiety, but also physiologically reducing that hunger that you had, inshallah. Okay, if you found this interesting, let me know, inshallah, and I'll catch you guys soon. Assalamu alaikum.